What's going on, my
Hey,
brother?
what's up, bud? I thought I lost you for a second. My screen just went blank.
What's good with you?
Not a lot, man. How you doing?
Doing better. Doing better.
Was you hurting there for a second?
Yeah, man.
Kenny Evans, huh?
Yeah, Kenny and I had become really good friends out here, man, and that was just some super tough news, man. I had sent him a text Sunday. He didn't respond, and I didn't even think nothing of it, And then Monday, his ex-wife came over. She didn't have my number, but she knew where I lived because she, been over before with Kenny, and she just came over and told me. Tough deal, man.
That is a tough deal. So you said you spent the last 8 years hanging out with him in Arizona?
Yeah. It's funny. I'd moved out here back in 99, 98. So I'd been out here for maybe, 13, 14 years when we connected. And it's a pretty funny story how we connected. I don't know if you saw that Facebook post, but I talked a little bit about it there. But, I lived in Chandler at the time. And then me and my daughter, we went to church all the way across town. So it was like a really long drive. And I had this over at the time. That thing got like 11 miles a gallon. I mean, every time you got in it, you had to put a $20 bill in it. It was Sunday. It was Easter. And I didn't feel like driving, all the way over there, driving out my gas. And there's this big church right around the corner. So I was like, okay, Sarai, let's just go to this church here, and pop in. So we go to this church, big church, never been there before. And, it's one of these mega churches, super big. And you know how you feel somebody looking at you?
Yeah.
You feel them looking at you. So we had sat down and I could feel the person next to me like looking at me. And, I didn't want to look up because I knew he was like looking. So finally I was just like, turned around and I was like, oh, dang, what's up, Kenny? And he was like, what's up? And I mean, this big old place that we decided to go to out of the blue, end up sitting right next to him. And he told me that, him and his wife and his son, they would always sit on the other side.
Wow.
Because that was their church, they'd sit on the other side, but they sat there because it was Easter. And, Easter is everybody comes and never come. So it was like super packed. And he wanted to sit kind of toward the back so they could get out quick.
All right.
We showed up. I didn't even know what time, church started. So we were kind of popping in a little bit, late. Sat right next to Kenny, man. And then we find out like the next day, he comes over to my house and just to hang out and catch up and find out that he lived right around the corner from me.
Wow.
For like the last year and a half.
Wow, that is wild.
He was like, man, we probably were in the grocery store at the same time.
Right.
Yes, at the same. I was like, man, I go to Safeway, almost every day. I'm always in Safeway. I was like, bro, we was probably in there at the same time, didn't even know it.
Right. Yeah, that's crazy. That is pretty wild, man. What did he pass from? Do you know?
Well, I don't know the details of what he passed from, but we had talked about he was having some issues with high blood pressure. And, I had, done a lot of training and health coaching and used a lot of Herbalife supplements. And we have a supplement in Herbalife that's good for high blood pressure. And, so I took him a bottle. It's like kind of like a juice, a powder, and you like a juice. But it works really well. I've got, tons of people that it helped. So I just went and gave him a bottle one day, but he told me that he was, his heart would race sometimes and he had, some high blood pressure and I guess it just kind of caught up with him.
Wow. That's too bad, man. How long was he the mascot there, though? He was.
Man, he was the mascot for 7 years. So he'd always, tell the stories of, I wasn't like the what do they call it, the long student, the career student.
Yeah.
I was the ultimate career student.
All right.
When his 4 years was done, he loved being top dog so much. He kept going to school and taking more classes, and
nice.
So he ended up, I think he was top dog for 7 years, nice. And then he left. And when I think it was Samson came,
yeah,
he brought him back. He was like, "Man, where's that that mascot you guys used to have? Man, have this place rocking."
Nice.
So he got in contact with Kenny. They brought him back, and he came back for more.
Nice, man.
And he was special. I remember when I first got there to OU, I mean, going to basketball games, he was the reason me and Darnell Walker would go. We'd go, man, to watch some top dog run around, dancing and stuff. We stealing his dances. Back in the dorm room.
Nice. You still in belly slides, huh, across the court?
I know it. He was something else, man. Nice. And he also told me, when he moved out here originally, it was to be the mascot for the Globetrotters.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I don't know if you knew that, but
I didn't.
He was Globey for a time and traveled with him overseas, and
nice.
Did a lot of that. There's a Harlem Globetrotters basketball back there.
Nice, man.
Got my daughter, so every time the Globetrotters were in town, he'd get us tickets, and we'd go hang out with Sweet Lou Dunbar. You remember him?
Oh yeah, nice, man. Really nice. Dropping some names now.
The execs now, so he would hang out with us. It was pretty cool.
Nice. What do you know why you spelled the dog D-A-U-G instead of?
I don't know why it was D-A-U-G, but I guess it was just to be different.
Right. I was wondering if there's a little story behind that, but
I'm sure there is, man. I'm sure there
right.
is. But, that's one I don't know.
And he was pretty young still too, mid 50s.
Yeah, I think Kenny was 57.
57, yeah.
Man,
that just shows you how valuable life is, man. It can just be taken in an instant, man.
Yeah, and we had talked a little bit about that last time I was on with you. It's you really gotta stay present. For people around you that you love, and do the best you can to stay healthy. And
it's like you said, the mind shift thing,
mm-hmm.
where you have to shift your mind into different focus. I know your daughter did that this last year because she had that injury in track. Was it?
She got injured in basketball. Yeah, and missed her whole junior year of track.
Yeah,
and then came back at the beginning of the basketball season this year. Had a setback, had to miss almost the full season. Came back for like the last 10 games, and then in the track and had a good track season, but it was her only season.
Right.
But she had so much fun, man. We got her a basketball and track scholarship.
Nice.
But she says she wants to do just track.
Oh, really?
Love track so much. So didn't make the basketball coach at Ottawa University too happy, but I'm sure she's going to still try to get her to come out when she gets on campus. But, she's going to focus on just track.
Nice. They got a nice campus up there.
Yeah, it's a real cute campus, small campus. It's Ottawa University. It's about 30 minutes right outside of Kansas City, right on I-35. So
nice.
35 that I used to take out of Kansas City going down to Norman. It's right there before you get into town.
Nice, man.
Really cool
nice.
campus. So, everybody around here is real proud of her. Kenny was a big fan of hers. He showed up for all our stuff. He came to the last home game, senior night. He was there with my mom, always support, man. He was a special friend.
Yeah, I bet it seems like the way you talk about him, he was a special man, and I'm sure he always had a smile on his face. He just seemed like one of those kind of guys, just don't want to worry anybody with his problems.
Yep, always seeing what he can do to help somebody else.
For sure. So what's been going on since we spoke last, man, besides your daughter? And
last time we spoke, it was just, kind of wrapping up the, recruiting season with my daughter, getting her signed and decided where she's going to college. And, Kenny and I had started in business with a technology to help people, with money, investing in gold.
Nice.
Gold and silver. Spent a lot of time with Kenny doing that. My son getting big and getting into everything,
I like those little videos you post of him, man. It's pretty funny.
He's a mess, man. And, it's like starting all over for me,
Right.
Starting all over. And, and that's just another thing, my wife was telling me, it's like, you're getting up there in age too. I'm 11 years older than her, which is why she still wanted to have a baby. One, so I got caught up in the pandemic and had a pandemic baby.
Hell yeah.
He's the pandemic baby. But it's also good to have a son too.
Yeah.
My daughter, I love her to death, and she's the best. But it was nice to get a son out of the deal.
You got to carry on that legacy, man.
Yeah.
Was Kenny survived by? Did he have any children?
Yeah, he had 3 sons. 2 are grown, and then he had one that is just now going to. I think he's going to be a freshman in high school.
Nice.
Kyron.
All right. And then
really good kid, smart kid, and love Kenny to death, man. I mean, nice. Those two were, A and B all the time. Kenny. Most of the time, Kenny came over. He got Kyron with him. So
nice.
He's hanging out with the fellas.
Nice, man. Nice. I've been noticing a lot of like former players. Their kids are now, like where your daughter was, going and get recruited by other schools and just to play sports, and it's awesome to see, man. Like, it's just cool. It's a testament to you guys, as a parent. Obviously you did something right. I mean, go through school, graduate with great grades, and extracurriculars to get a scholarship. So ain't putting all the bearing on you guys,
Yeah.
It's I was talking to Inetta Graham, DJ Graham's mom, and I was telling her that like it's key for parents, in my opinion, that like you can't take that hunter's instinct away from them by, like, you got to let them learn how to hunt and survive, and by that I mean, like, not give them everything, and like have a steady, like, discipline where if you're going to discipline them this for this, make this discipline the same all the time, and not just up and down. And well, sometimes I care, sometimes I don't.
Yeah.
And it's
parenting is it's a roller coaster, especially, in my situation, I'm divorced, so we're both, trying to raise her with, how we think we should raise her. She's at my house half the time, she's at her mom's house half the time. Her mom wants to do things this way, I want to do things this way. And, so sometimes it's a real balancing act, and because our relationship wasn't that good, me and her mom, you know, that makes it even tougher. But,
Right.
you know, with Soraya getting into the position that she was this year with her senior year, you know, we were able to kind of come together a lot more and really, you know, focus on getting her taken care of and giving her all the attention that she needs, and so she could reach, you know, whatever goals she had out of her senior year, because you know, last year with COVID,
Yeah.
you know, crazy school season, you know.
Oh, I bet, man. I bet.
So,
My
yeah.
kid just graduated too, man. High school.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yep. She graduated on the 20th of May, man.
That's a fun time, man. And
It is, man.
get through high school.
Yeah, it's like I remember dropping her off in like second, third grade at school. Like we'd just be chopping it up the whole way to school, and then like once she got to high school, it's like, you know, it's like nah.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Exactly what you're talking about. Soraya, she would I'd pick her up and she'd be like, bah, 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 all the way home. All the way home, man. And then, you know, once we hit high school, you know, she's on her phone, texting her friends, is, you know, where are you guys at? So I can meet you when I get to school. And, you know, we're at the corner, da 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 da. You know?
Right. Yeah, it's kids are crazy, man. I tell you, like there's a couple times I like when she was probably in junior high, or she'd have some friends over and I'd poke my head in the door and, you know, make sure everything's all right. And they're just all on their phones, like talking to each other through text. And I'm all like, you guys know, they're like, you're right across from each other, right?
I mean, that technology, man, it's something else. My son is 16 months and he can get on my wife's phone. There's like a kid's YouTube app.
Yeah.
He can see the home screen with all the apps and find his app, open it up, and start doing videos.
Wow,
you know,
man.
It's amazing, man. It is amazing. I'm like, man, this kid is like, these kids and these phones, I mean, it starts early.
Right, it does.
They figure it out. He's got his little fingers just boop with his thumb. He find it, boop.
Right. Yeah, these kids don't know the real struggle of studying for a test or anything like that.
Oh man. Look everything up. Google it.
Yeah, I wish we had Google back in the day, huh?
Yeah, our Google was the encyclopedia.
That's it too, man. Britannica.
go plagiarize some encyclopedias for your book report.
For sure. I'm finishing up my second year of school. I'm working on this. It's my last class. It's American cinema. I'm glad it's over, man. I'm burnt out this year. I'm ready for a break, man.
How many hours did you take?
12.
Okay.
Or whatever. I think it's 12. Yeah, 12 hours. That's full time, I think, up here. So
yeah.
I got a little over 2 years left, man. Organizational leadership is my major.
Okay.
Gotta I want to get there's so many like kids that get left behind, and just simply because they don't have the resources that we can get to them.
Yeah.
It's just nobody wants to, because it's in the ghetto, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Or there's only one parent in the home, and we don't want to go there at 8:00 at night to do a parenting class. So I don't know. It just seems like we as adults have given up on a lot of kids, man.
Yeah. I mean, there's a ton of resources. We just got to do better getting it to them. You know?
You been paying any attention to OU recruiting?
Not recently. I've been into the softball most recently, and now the baseball team is in the College World Series. They won today, so that's cool.
How about that softball team, man? Wow.
That's a squad. Figure it out, man. They got to figure it out. I love when a program gets going like that, you know?
Unbeatable.
Going.
Yeah, there was no way they're going to lose 2 games in a 3-game series. There was no way.
Yeah. I watched those games, and that first game, was it Texas that they played? Yeah, and they got them the first game. But
Oh,
they
UCLA?
twice, UCLA.
Yeah.
They beat them twice. I was like, there's no way they're going to beat, maybe they ain't going to beat OU twice in a row. They just ain't.
Yeah. Yeah, Jocelyn Allo, man, she such a beautiful swing. Reminds me of Ken Griffey Jr. Like, just a nice stroke, man.
Yeah.
It's nice. She's clutch. She's pretty clutch too, man.
Yeah, I mean, they all are. I mean, all up and down the order, man. They are just, they're focused, dialed in, and they're ready to make the play, get the hit. They're ready.
And that baseball team, they're catching heat at the right time, man. It's pretty nice to see a team come together like that.
Yeah, and that's how the baseball is, man. I mean, every year it seems like there's a team that, kind of comes in that's just hot.
Yeah.
That wasn't supposed to be there. Or, they just get hot at the right time and go a long way.
Nice. Did you play against Belser in Kansas City in high school?
No, Belser was on the Missouri side.
He was on
the Kansas side.
Okay, I see.
So I did play against Kenyon Rashid.
Yeah. What was that like?
Oh man, Kenyon went to a private school. So and they recruited. So basically, his school was like an all-star team. They came and got everybody's best players,
right?
And they would go to state every year, win state every year. And when we played them, it was funny because our first two games my senior year were, the first game was against the Kansas State champ, and then the second game was against Kenyon and the Missouri State champ. And our coach was like, we are not going 0-2. We are not going 0-2 and start, because we finally got a good squad. They moved me to running back, figured out that, I was better if you just hand me the ball, let me do what I do instead of throwing it, because I was a receiver.
Okay.
And we had a great option quarterback. So, and he was a senior. And so it was like, this year's our year. But our schedule turned out to be like the toughest schedule in the state. And first game, I broke my hand before the first game.
Oh, no.
So I was in a cast, and they didn't play me on offense. They were scared I'd fumble the ball. So they didn't put me in on offense until right at the end of the game. It was 14-7, and we needed a touchdown. And they're like, heck, just go do it. If you fumble, you fumble. So they had to cast it up a little bit. We had like 2 drives to try to drive on them to tie it up. And we couldn't get there, on those 2 drives. So we lost the first game to the Kansas State champs 14-7. The next game was against Kenyon and them, and they were like way better than the Kansas State champs. And Kenyon was, he was a beast. And
was he?
Had everybody in the country looking at him.
Yeah.
And, so we knew we had our work cut out for us, and they beat us 28-7.
Oh, damn.
They didn't shut us out, but, I had a really good game against them. Their defense, was like super stout. Nobody ran for 100 yards on them ever. And I barely went over 100 yards, and that's what kind of put me, on the map, because nobody, they had just switched me to running back, and nobody knew who I was. So when I had the senior year that I had, nobody was really ready for it. So that's why I ended up going to OU, or not OU, but to junior college.
Yeah.
So it just kind of came out of nowhere, and nobody was really recruiting me.
And then it was your offensive coordinator from your junior college that was at OU?
Oh, the head coach.
Head coach.
Head coach, yeah, Dick Foster. He was the head coach that recruited me to Coffeyville. He got hired as a recruiting coordinator at OU, and then recruited me again to come to OU.
Nice.
Yeah.
So who'd you room with at OU? Who was that you roomed with at OU?
I roomed with, starting out, I roomed with Darnell Walker.
Nice.
We both came from junior college and same school and stuff. So we started out rooming, and then I roomed with Belser for a semester and DeWell Brewer.
All right. Were you there for the shooting?
No, I came right after that.
Okay.
I watched the podcast when you had Belser on, when he talked about it, and
Yeah.
Those are all the things that happened before I got there when they brought in, Dick to, bring in, start bringing in some, good kids to kind of clean up their image a little bit.
Right. I see. So how was that? Like, I know it was tough. You said 13, 14 scholarships, but.
Yeah, it was tough, but, I loved every minute of it. It was like, this is what I'm here for.
Right.
Let's make it happen, whatever we got to do. And, I still think that junior year, my first year, I think that team was, one of the best teams in the country. And, had we caught a break or two, we'd have been fighting for a national championship and put some pressure on them to give us a national championship without a bowl game.
Right. Was that 90?
That was 90, yeah.
90, yeah.
We had the hiccup against Iowa State, and we lost to Iowa State there.
Oh, yeah.
63 years.
Yeah.
Right after we lost to Texas, and that was a heartbreaker.
There's a lot of big names on that squad for you guys.
Yeah, it was a really good team.
Seeing that shows you how good the name OU is. To have that much talent on a team that's just blasted with probation like that.
Yeah, I mean, had to dig into the freshmen like Jason and T. Ray and Reggie. Those guys, Bowden, they were forced into big playing roles, as young guys.
Yeah.
When a school like Oklahoma is, usually just senior laden. It's hard to get in there when you're an underclassman, a freshman, sophomore. You're looking at, 1-2 guys, but back then they had to, hold it down.
Yeah.
A lot of them, yeah.
I talked to Reggie Barnes last week, and I asked him if he could Oklahoma drill against anybody, who would it be? He's all Kel Gundy, so I could hit a quarterback one more time.
And he would like to hit quarterback.
That's pretty funny. That's a good guy, man. Old Reggie Barnes.
Yeah, Reggie had his son was playing for Colorado.
Yeah,
and so he came out here to see his son play. Gave me a call, and I went out and had dinner with him one night. I wasn't able to go to the game because, my wife goes to bed early because she does the news, and she's the weekend morning, so she goes to bed real early. So I couldn't, go out there to the game because out here, ASU plays all their games at night because it's so hot.
Yeah.
So they let the sun go down before they have games. So their home games are always under the lights at night.
Nice. That's pretty cool.
So I wasn't able to go to the game with him, but that next day we went out and hit the links, played a little golf, called Kenny up. Kenny came out and
nice.
My brother, and had a good old time, man. Just talking about the OU days, the old days. Man, we had a good time.
It's kind of nice reminiscing on like that, man.
Yeah.
Especially with people you ain't seen in a long time.
Yeah, Reggie had his Super Bowl ring from Dallas.
Nice.
And, when they came to the house after, because I live on the golf course, so we came over so he could see my son. Because of the pandemic, Reggie and Kenny that day, they were the first people to see my son, to come over to the house.
Oh, nice.
Saw my son, yeah.
That's sweet, man. Very sweet.
Hemmed up in the house the whole time.
For sure. Did Kenny get to keep his mascot? His top dog?
I don't think so. But man, he had some. I guess just because he was a mascot, he was good with suits. Because every year we go to these costume parties for Halloween, and Kenny was always like, he had the bombest, suits all the time. He had like a onesie, like pajamas with like monster hands and green monster hands and feet. These look like shoes and mask. I was like, dude, you're killing me with this. Everybody loved it.
Nice,
Everybody
man.
loved it.
He looks like it looks a lot like Anthony Hardaway, man.
Yeah, now that you say that, I can go with that. I can go with that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Uh, oh yeah, did you watch the finals?
I did.
So do you start putting Steph Curry in the conversation with LeBron?
I mean, I guess you got to.
Right?
When you look at it, you got to.
Yeah.
I mean, they both have 4 championships. Curry's done it in 8 chances. It took LeBron 10. You know, Curry's known as the greatest shooter and three-point shooter of all time.
Yeah.
You know, LeBron, I guess he's getting ready to hit Kareem's record, so maybe you can match that with that. But I mean, they're tit for tat when you start to stack it up.
I mean, really, like I think what it is, a lot of people's problem is when they close their eyes and they think of the greatest basketball player of all time, they don't see somebody that's 6'2", 190 pounds. You know, they see somebody that's 6'9", 240 pounds and can jump out of the gym. I mean, It just, if you're a ball player, you're a ball player.
And Curry has changed the geometry of basketball, where you have to guard people out at the 3-point line because that's all they're shooting.
Yeah.
Which opens up so much, lane. And I mean, so a guy like Luka Doncic, who's not fast, who isn't quick, but is skilled enough that he can, have people all pulled out at the 3-point line with nothing between him and the basket, to where he can work magic and be the guy that he is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's because of Curry.
Yeah. And it's given undersized kids like the inspiration to keep playing basketball and working on their skill, and not worrying about their size. And like Allen Iverson that's my favorite basketball player of all time, probably. Allen Iverson that dude had no fear when he was playing ball. That's what you got to do.
Yeah. And now with the way basketball is, if you can shoot the ball, there's a place for you.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what your size is. If you can shoot the ball, you can change the dynamics and those angles of the whole floor.
Yeah.
By being a shooter. And to be a good shooter, all you got to do is get your damn butt in the gym.
No, that's it.
You know what I'm saying?
It. Yep.
You don't need the size. You don't need explosion. You don't need athleticism. You need to sit in that gym and shoot and shoot and shoot. And anybody can do that.
Yeah.
That's what I love that he's done for the game, is he's made it a game where anybody can decide, you know what, I love this game. I want to be good at this game. All I got to do is learn how to shoot.
Yeah.
If you can shoot the ball from outside and score, there's a place for you. There's a home for you.
Oh yeah. See, that's what the GOAT is to me. Like, I mean, that's why MJ is the GOAT to me, because he got 120 out of everybody that played around him. And if you didn't give 120, you were out, and you wanted to be a part of that team because you knew how good they were. So you're going to follow the leader, man.
And see, and that's the thing about Jordan too, is Jordan played in an era, where it was all about the hype.
Yep.
Everybody, if you weren't winning a championship if you didn't have a 7-footer.
Right.
It was all about getting a 7-footer, somebody that can get some rebounds and you can dump it in and they can have a couple moves and score some easy buckets. That's what it was all about back then.
Yeah.
And Jordan was able to come in, and not be one of the trees,
right,
and take it to the big fellas inside.
Yeah, and it's the weight room too. Like, that did a lot for him. I was watching that 30 for 30 or whatever, and after the series with the Jordan rules, he hit that gym hard, and you could tell he put on some 30 pounds probably.
Yeah, and strength not only, allows you to perform better physically, but being a small guy myself that, struggled with gaining weight and getting bigger, every time I got bigger, it increased my confidence.
Yep.
When I was in high school playing running back, I was 155 pounds.
Damn.
I was a little scat back.
Right.
Let me tell you how I became great in football. What it was for me is I was so small, I couldn't bench 135.
Ouch.
But like one time.
Damn.
So, when you put just the 45s on the side, that's 135. That's what most people start to warm up with.
Right.
135 and whew. I couldn't do it. I'm like 135. I get it one or two times. So I was embarrassed in the weight room. And you know what I did? I would go off in the corner with the leg machine. And I just sat there on the leg machine and boom.
Right.
All by myself. Everybody else is over here benching and curling. And I'm just like over there embarrassed. They'll do them in the corner.
Right.
But as I'm doing it, I'm getting stronger. Yeah. And like over the summer, my dad worked for General Motors. So we had weights. I live right behind the high school. And so I just walk across the field and go to weight class.
Nice.
They had weight class at 6 in the morning, and then they had it again at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So my dad would get up, make breakfast, make me get up and eat breakfast with him, and send me across the field when he's leaving to work.
Nice.
And so I'd go there. Nobody's going to the 6 o'clock workout, in the summertime.
All right. For
Especially
sure.
when you don't live right by the school like I do. So
right.
if I'm going to the 6 o'clock workout, it'd be like 3-4 people.
Damn.
And 3 of them were underclassmen trying to, show out for the head coach because they wanted to get some playing time.
Right, right.
So it's like me and 3 underclassmen. And I can't bench, 135 with them.
Right.
So I'm off in the corner by myself hitting the leg machine. And then I'm at home, 3 o'clock comes around, and I'm looking out the window and I'm seeing all my friends pulling up.
Oh.
So I'm like, hell, I'm just sitting here at home watching TV. All my friends is over here. So I go again. And so I'm working out twice a day, all summer. And all I'm doing is leg press. I'm doing the leg press machine all by myself because I can't bench nothing.
Damn.
And because to get a good workout, I'd have to, I couldn't even put 35s on. I'd have to put the 25s on. Really, really suspect. Just to get some reps in, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, I can't do that. So I'm just doing legs. And over that summer, my legs got so strong. And then we go to max. This is a funny story. We go to max out. We had a chart because he didn't want nobody to get injured, maxing out on squat. So we had this chart that would say, if you did 225, X amount of times, your max would be this.
Oh, right, right.
So there was like a chart. If you did it, 10 times, your max is, for whatever.
Right.
So I did the number of reps, and I had the tops on the team. It was 465.
You repped 465?
No, I did 225
oh yeah.
so many times that on this chart, it said my max is 465.
Damn.
And the coach was like, and I'm weighing 155 at the time.
Damn.
And the coach was like, you can't do 465. I said, well, let's do it. Let's put it on the bar. Because I'd never squatted. I'm just doing this leg press machine. So I really don't know what I can do. So we put 465 on the bar. And I'm like, bam, bam. I mean, easy.
Nice.
So they said, let's do 475. Bam, bam.
Nice.
Let's do 485. Bam, bam. Let's do 495. It's like, okay, now I'm struggling. So now I done did 225 a ton of times.
Right.
And then I've done 460, 465, 475, 485, and 495. The school record was 500 pounds.
Oh, nice.
So they're like, let's go for the school record, 505. I did 505 and the place went crazy.
Nice.
You know, and the coach was like, man, this boy's about to tear this thing up. He's about to tear it up. And, you know, I had gained, you know, over that summer, 10 pounds.
Nice.
And not only did I get the strength, but the 10 pounds in my mind gave me the confidence.
Nice, man.
And the confidence just, you know, when you got the confidence, anything is possible.
Yep.
You know, when you believe, the Bible talks about belief. You know, that's a real thing. And I mean, stuff cannot happen until you believe.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't think you can do it, it ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
You go into something, you know, thinking, well, maybe I'll, you know, I want to do this, but I'll settle for this.
Yeah.
Well, as soon as you say, I'll be okay with this, that's as far as you're going.
Yeah.
Because your belief, your belief is never stretched far enough.
Nice. I like that. Stretch far enough. That's good.
You know, and that's why a lot of people will talk about not having a plan B, because as soon as you have a plan B in mind, that gives you an out from the original goal.
Yeah.
So it's like, create a goal, you know, hit the beach, burn the ships behind you so you can't retreat.
Oh, nice. I like that.
You know, and there's you know, when there's only one option, that's what you're going for.
Yeah.
And you either believe or you don't.
Yeah. That's true, man. Like life, that's how it is. Once you lose the hope and the belief and the faith, like what's the point of even waking up, man? It's, if you don't think anything's gonna happen positively, like my wife, she's been kind of negative here the last couple weeks, and she just some stuff going on at home or whatever, you know, and I try and tell her every day, like we just gotta try and block that nastiness out, man, because all that does is cause strife in your life, man.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to.
We were talking about the playoffs. Remember that game that Boston came back?
Yeah.
They were down a ton.
Yeah.
You could see that they believed that they could win that game.
Yeah.
And they just kept inching back. And it was like, you could see the belief in their play.
Yeah.
You know, and that's how they won that game. They shouldn't have won it.
Yeah.
But it was able to stretch the series 6 games, because it shouldn't even got to 6.
No.
You know, they were really, you know, outmatched, but it was that belief that I mean, that's why I love sports.
Yes.
I mean, it's that struggle. You got two wills. Who's gonna outwill the other?
Yeah.
You know, who is gonna, you know, and that's where leadership, coaching, and all that stuff comes in to instill in your players in practice. One, giving them the tools and the skills, and practicing the fundamentals and getting the things that you need to be able to do, but also instilling that faith and instilling the belief that, you know, you can, you know, do it. And, you know, I love, you know, this time of year for football, you know, you got the pros and the OTAs, and, you know, you've got spring ball, you know, spring ball just ended, you know, that's where you're getting it together.
Yeah.
And I love how Venables came in and, you know, took over, you know, strong leadership. Hey, this is how it's going to be. This is what we're going to do. And we're going to work on these little things every single day. And that's going to be what gives you the confidence, you know, down the stretch and in those tight games. You know, you got it down.
Yeah. So like this might be kind of crazy, but this is the way my take on LeBron is. I think he skipped a step in the process by not going to college where he could learn that like hierarchy of a team. Because like in my opinion, he can't be coached because he thinks he is the coach. Like MJ knew that he was MJ. He knew that Phil Jackson was the coach. He knew Scotty was his right-hand man. He knew his Dennis Rodman was his enforcer, and Ron Harper was just a bad dude. Like he just knew how all that was, and I think it's because he went to college and he got to see, like you said, you learn the fundamentals, you learn all the little things. High school, he was the man. He didn't need to learn anything. It just give LeBron the ball and move out of the way, and that's the way it was when he got to Cleveland.
And that kind of works both ways. And this is kind of how I see that, because he came in so young and they basically gave him the team. This is your team, and put him in that spot of leadership. He was able to grow a lot faster than a lot of other people because he did his growing at the pro level.
Right.
But like what you're saying is that he still missed the leadership part and understanding that the coach is the head. And he's kind of come up in a way that where he thought he was the head.
Right. Yeah.
He's just as equal as the coach. I mean, he got his coach, fired after they had the best record in the NBA.
That's wild.
Get rid of him. He'll just have the best record in the NBA, and you get rid of the coach.
Yeah, that's wild, man.
So he's all, and that was when he was still pretty young. So
yeah,
he's always had that. I'm kind of coach / player, and once he really got to making money, lately he feels like he's the GM too.
Yeah, that's all right. I think I'm so down. I think I'm just so hard on Braun because I know what's there, man. Like, wow, like he could be so much better for his career. Like, I mean, for the players that he's had played beside him, especially in Miami, like to go, we're gonna win 4, 5, 6, 7. It's like, don't talk about it, just be about it. It's.
Well, I'll say this, man. He definitely had the chance to solidify himself as the greatest of all time.
Yep.
He's been to the finals 10 times. Had he won 8, it would be no question.
No question. No question.
And he had the opportunity to do it and to be the man, take over games like Jordan would and will his team to victory. He wasn't able to do it.
Yeah.
And people talk about, he didn't have help and da-da-da-da-da. It's like, man, when the time comes, if you got help, great. If you don't, it's too bad. The hottest ones, they gonna make it happen. Do you remember last year when in the what do they call it, the play-in tournament?
Oh yeah, the play-in game, yeah.
When the Warriors didn't have nobody but Steph.
Yeah.
Steph was out there killing.
Yeah.
Killing fools. Almost beat the Lakers all by himself.
For real.
You know what I'm saying? That's a killer. That's a GOAT.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And LeBron had a chance to do that when they lost to Dallas. He didn't do it. He had a chance to do it when they lost to the Spurs.
Yeah.
Didn't do it. And, so he's had his opportunities and chances to just have those landmark, wins and stuff to really separate himself from Jordan. And I think because he wasn't able to, you really can't even put him in the same stratosphere.
Mm-hmm. I personally, I got him as third, 3A, 3B with Steph, especially after this finals.
I'm like, with that championship, Steph passes Bird. If you had Bird ahead of him.
No.
Bird has 3 championships?
3, yeah. 3.
And he's proven he's a better shooter than Bird, so he's got to go by Bird. Duncan is, I put him ahead of Duncan.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's a close one, but I still put him ahead of Duncan because, you know, just what, you know, the bigger impact to the game that, you know, Steph has had.
Yeah, Timmy D, he was nice, fundamentally sound basketball player, like, but he just couldn't take over, you know, like. Yeah.
I mean, I put him ahead of Shaq. I look at Shaq like LeBron.
Yeah.
You was as dominant as you were. You had all the opportunities in the world to just, you know, be that guy. And he didn't do it.
Oh.
What Shaq ended up with 3 or 4?
He won 3.
Yeah. One with D Wade and 2 with Kobe.
Yep.
And see, he always had like the top guard in the game.
Yeah. Yep. And yeah, Penny and Orlando.
Yeah.
They should have beat the Bulls, man, in that playoff series. I think it was the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah.
They were pretty good, Orlando Magic back then. But Shaq, yeah, he was dominant. Oh man, when he first came into the league,
man, he was something to watch, man.
He was fun to watch, man.
He just bowl over people. It just cracked me up.
Yeah. You know,
make it look bad.
Oh, I'm telling you what, you think LeBron could play back then, like in the Jordan era?
I think he could play. I think he could play. You know, I think he'd be about the same as what he is now.
Yeah. I know it's a lot more physical then.
Yeah, they probably would have. He'd have gotten some scuffles because, you know, they'd been like, "Hey, young buck, we don't have to. We're gonna give you a little something here
for real."
Take this with you know, young boy,
running into Charles Oakley and Anthony Mason and the Knicks. Them dudes were some killers, man. Like, just think about like how many rings Jordan stopped, or how many people Jordan stopped from getting rings. Like,
yeah,
so many great players, man. Yeah. So many Hall of Famers.
I mean, and they didn't sniff a ring. And the 2 seasons that he was out, Olajuwon snatched him up.
Whew. He was nice too, man.
He got both of them.
Yeah.
You know, had he not left and played baseball, I mean, that'd have been 2 more.
Yeah, they would have won 8 in a row.
They would have won.
Without a doubt, man, for sure. So like you're talking about Luka Doncic, he's probably the face of the NBA now, huh?
Man, that dude is something special.
He is. His step back is, that's lethal.
I mean, I wanted the Suns, you know, living out here in Phoenix, becoming a Suns fan. I wanted the Suns to draft him over Aiden.
Oh, yeah.
But Aiden went down the road to Tucson at U of A. And everybody, you know, the radio people out here is, you know, oh, we got to get Aiden. You know, Booker and Aiden would be like Shaq and Kobe. You know, they gassed me up. So I was like, okay, yeah, let's get Aiden. But now when I look back on it, I'm like, boy, did they miss an opportunity.
Yeah. He isn't Aiden's not doing a whole lot now, is he?
No, I mean, they might ship him out of here.
Yeah.
You know, he wants the max. They don't want to give it to him.
He worth the max.
Because you know, then that messes them up with bringing some other people in.
Right.
So they want to keep the flexibility. And you know, I'm like, dude, you're a super young cat, man. He should have taken that money they offered him last year.
Yeah.
You know, set a nice bar for himself. So the next one, you're working off that instead of the rookie deal.
Right. Yeah.
You know, you're trying to go from a rookie deal to the max. You know. Yeah. You see what they're trying to do. As long as they got old Chris Paul, he's chewing up some of that money.
Too much of it. His window's closed, huh?
Well, yeah. He's under contract for like 2 more years.
Oh, really?
So but next year, after next year, I think there's the team option.
Okay.
They want, you know, so they'll be able to get out of it next year. But it's like, you know, Aiden, you need to, you know, take your little smaller piece, and then when Chris Paul is gone, you know, now let's eat.
That's Devin Booker probably deserves that money more than he does, huh?
He probably does, but you know,
he's a nice shot, man.
You gotta. I mean, I get it. You know, get yours while you can.
Right.
But Aiden is he came out after, you know, he's a one and doneer.
Oh yeah, he did play only a year.
Booker. You know, Booker's been here, you know, struggling before Aiden got here.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
To get his money. You know, and Aiden, you know, he really just started to have good years, you know, this year and the year before, the 2 years before that, or the year before that, he was just horrible. Horrible.
Nice. Is there any talk about Hollywood Brown around you, or
yeah, for me, I'm the one out here. I'm the one out here Hollywood Browning. They don't know.
They don't. They really don't. That's gonna be super fun, man.
Brown voice out here. I'll be telling everybody. I ran to a guy at the grocery store today. He tried to talk about Kyler Murray. I was like, man, you caught the wrong guy to talk bad about Kyler Murray.
Oh no.
I went to OU. I love me some Kyler Murray, and the only reason people want to come to Phoenix now is because of Kyler Murray.
Right.
Said, hey, just pay that man, give him his money, and move on.
Yeah,
Stop
I know.
trying to play all this, you know, gamesmanship, the negotiation, and all that stuff. Give the man his money. He's worth every dime. We ain't had nobody forever, and ain't gonna get nobody like him ever again.
No, he's
lock him up, make him happy, do whatever he wants you to do. Smile in his face, give him all the love, you know, pat him on the back, whatever you need to do.
Right.
You know, and you know, coach him up.
Is Kingsbury is he the one to get it done, or?
He could be, but I don't know. You know, he needs to be better with, like, you know, clock management, some of the smaller things that can have a big difference, you know, in a ball game. I mean, calling timeout in the first quarter on the first drive.
Yeah.
You know, or calling a timeout in the first drive of the second half, and you playing a game against, you know, the Packers.
Right.
You know, where you know you're going to need to, you know, it's going to come down to the end. It's going to be, you know, how you manage the clock and your timeouts, and, you know, all that stuff makes a big, and he fumbles that stuff way too often. You know.
Go ahead.
But if he can get those things together, I think he's gonna give him a chance to win, because he is innovative with the offense. He's doing a lot of things that a lot of people, you know, aren't ready for, that create plays for us, you know, over the course of the game that, you know, other teams aren't getting, you know. So you know, he's got what it takes. It's just the small things that I think he needs to get better at. Just like, Kyler. Yeah. You know, there's some small things that he can clean up, and he'll be even better than he is right now, because, you know, the athleticism is way off the chart.
Way.
That stuff is just hard to defend. It doesn't matter who you are. I mean,
yeah.
You know, you got a guy that can run him 4-3 away from your big old lineman anytime he wants to.
Yeah.
You know, that changes some things. Makes you cover different on the back end, makes your rush different.
Yeah.
Which opens up things in the running game. You know, so I mean, Kyler gives him you know, he gives him a chance to do something great. You know,
and
a long time.
He really reminds me of Mike Vick, man. Remember when Mike Vick came into the league?
Yep.
Jesus, he was, god dang, man. I remember when he split those Minnesota Vikings.
Oh, man.
Two defenders. They just
man, I haven't seen Kyler Murray make some runs out here, dog. This is just crazy. And I'm like, people, you got to understand, there ain't but maybe 2-3 people that could have did that.
Yep. Yep.
And, you know, when you got somebody that can do stuff like that, that gives you a huge advantage.
That's it. That's the thing. He makes it look so easy, man.
Yeah, and people out here don't appreciate it. You know, they really don't appreciate it like they should.
It's because they haven't had any good ball players around there, I guess, for so long. They don't really know, I guess.
It's like, man, they're like, oh, why is he asking for so much money? Because he's worth it.
Yep.
You know, that man's playing on a contract $5 million.
Ooh.
You think he's going to go out there and hit the field next year for $5 million?
No, hell no.
When you got cats like Mitch Trubisky.
Oh, right.
Making 30 million, 20 million, whatever, you know.
That's insane. He's like, not even yeah, he's sitting on the bench collecting those millions too.
It's like, come on, he's better than, you know, half these cats.
Right. Yeah, that's crazy, man. There's a lot of money in sports these days. And like some guy was saying something about the players run the NBA, and I don't agree with that. I don't know why. Like, I understand just because it's more money doesn't mean that the players are running the league. That's just the way times are, like inflation or whatever you want to call it. You know, it's just, you can't pay a guy $200,000 a year to play football anymore.
Yeah. Well, I think what they mean more is the way they run the league is they have more leverage.
Okay.
Because it's only 5 people on the court. You
right.
know, so you got to have one of those guys. You know what I'm saying? You got to have, you know, good players. You know, one of them top 2-3 players on the court if you're gonna win some games. So, and that gives them leverage.
Right.
To you know, ask for more than they worth. I done seen some of these guys' contracts, and I'm like, man, no way you should be making that. But they do play 82 games.
Yeah.
You know, it's a longer season. You know, you got 17-week season in the NFL now, so you know, I get it. You know, you gotta pay them more, but that's a lot of money in the NBA.
Yeah, the NBA is in a good spot though. There's a lot of young talent, man. It's going to be exciting. I really like that J.A. Morant.
Yep.
Man, that dude can jump out the gym, huh? That nasty dunk he had.
Watching him in college, he was just like fearless. Who he reminded me of was Dwayne Wade when he was at Marquette.
Man, yeah.
I remember watching the Final Four, not Final Four, but just March Madness in general.
Yep.
And I'm like, who is this kid on Marquette dunking on everybody every time down the floor?
Everybody.
Like, they was knocking him down. He's sliding all over the floor, popping back up. And I was like, who is this guy? It's like Dwayne Wade. I'm like, that is my favorite player.
Yeah,
and whatever team drafts him is my favorite team from now on. And he went to Miami, and I rock with Miami for a long time.
Nice. So, why do you suppose, like, players that tear it up like that in college, it don't translate to the pro game in the NBA?
Sometimes it's just, you know, it's the maturity factor, I think.
Okay.
With, like, DeAndre Ayton, for example. He was a one-and-done kid at U of A, but from the stories that I heard from U of A, I mean, he wasn't going to class. You know, he had his cousins living with him, you know, and they was taking care of all of them. And, you know, he just didn't grow up, you know. And
right.
He didn't even, you know, grow as a freshman in college. And now you throw him in the NBA with grown men that have been there for, you know, 10, 12 years. And you think they're going to let this little punk, you know, get anything done, you know. So I think, you know, there's a maturity level that they have to have. That's why I think Luka Doncic is so good right now, because when he came into the NBA as a rookie, he was like a, you know, 4-time player of the year on the team he was on over there. You know, overseas. He just got the MVP in the finals.
Yeah.
You know, and he'd been starting since he was 14 on the national team.
That's crazy, man.
So he came in like a veteran.
Yeah.
With skills.
Yeah.
And, a lot of the young guys are just, the ones that make it, they get around the right people and can grow. That's why I think the last 2 years you've seen DeAndre Ayton as an example, him do so much better is because he's got Chris Paul right there. A veteran that's teaching him how to be a man, how to be a grown-up, how to handle yourself, and how to go about your business. They told a story one time that DeAndre Ayton shows up at the gym. It's like the practice starts at 9:00. So he shows up at 9:00 and everybody's already there out there shooting. They warming up. Couple of guys is already sweating hard because they, been through their own personal workout before practice start. And he just showing up. And he's like, what are y'all doing? and he did, he didn't take it as, a job.
Right.
That it's his livelihood. He just showing up whenever he wants to, because that's what he did at U of A.
Right.
And, you got cats coming in early. They already taking care of their bodies, getting treatments and doing all this stuff. And they in the gym warming up.
Right.
He just showing up ready to put his shoes on and go hit the court.
Yeah, that's wild, man.
And so if these young guys don't have anybody around, veteran that'll take them under their wing like that, that's how you can see a guy with a lot of talent, coming into the league and just, not paying out, because these other guys, they've been around, they going for your throat. They going for your neck.
They are too. Got a foot on the neck, man.
And then you coming in as a, 18-year-old trying to, take their spot.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I loved about Kobe so much was his work ethic, man. He'd be in the gym 3 hours before anybody else, and 3 hours after everybody else. I got a funny story about Kobe is in Luka's rookie year, they were playing in LA and Kobe was on the bench, and so Luka, every time he'd come down the court, Kobe would be talking smack to him in Luka's own native language.
Kobe used to do that.
Yeah, that's how Kobe was killer, man. Killer.
He used to do that a lot. I saw a clip where he was talking junk in the Olympics to some dude from Spain.
Nice.
He was speaking Spanish.
Nice.
and LeBron is telling him, "Chill out, Kobe, chill out." And Kobe's like, "Forget you, LeBron. I'm going at this fool." And he's cussing him out in Spanish.
Nice, man. See that, and that's the mentality, man. The killer mentality. Like it's not something Lincoln Riley had, and I think it's something Coach V has. That Lincoln, whatever he's going to do, whatever he's going to do, and it's a business decision. It could have been handled different, but it is what it is, and I don't wish him any luck. But I think he's going to ruin. I think he's going to maybe shortchange a lot of kids, man, because I just see him as being a coach that's out for himself. It's hard to be a great coach when you're out for yourself.
Well, I think Venables is a great hire. I think he's going to do excellent. I think we're going to be surprised at how well he gets this program whipped into shape and taking on his identity, because he's intense.
Yeah, and like you said, the Bible, man, it doesn't even have to be centered around the Bible, but like the different messages that are within the Bible, you can use them every single day, man. Every single day, you can use those messages to get you through, to come together, to come up with a solution or have hope, whatever,
Yeah.
Okay, well, I better get off here, man. I've been yakking at you for a while now, and
well, it's always my pleasure to join you, man, and
it is
see your face, hear your voice. Keep doing what you're doing. I love what you're doing.
Nice, man.
It's impacting people. I like that you share from the heart, and we all about Sooner love, but it's really about love in general.
It is, man.
And I love you, brother.
I love you too, brother. So can I get a Boomer Sooner on my way out?
Oh, what we do. Boomer Sooner. Horns
All
down.
day. All day, every day.
OU all day, every day for life.
For life, baby. All right. Thanks, Greg. We'll talk to you later, bud.
All right. I'll see you.
All right.